Good morning. I wanted to share some failures and successes that I've had in the vegetable garden so far. Actually, I'm going to do this with each garden, but each a separate video. So far in here, and it's very early days, the blueberries have been an absolute failure. That one looks pretty dead. That one looks pretty dead. There's a couple that are alive. I planted 6 altogether. This one's still alive here. But overall, not a great success. These 3 are still alive. I did give them some fertilizer, but might have been a little late. I don't know. Yeah. And the strawberries I planted in here obviously were not a success because I didn't water them in that dry spell we had. These raspberries are yet to be seen whether they will succeed. So far they're not looking great. The ones that I transplanted from my woods, the bought ones aren't looking too bad. Some of them don't look great. Actually, they don't look that great, do they? Well, I wonder what they need. I'll have to check that out. Anyway, so far the corn has been wonderful. The squash here so far is doing well. I'm going to try to train it on this trellis. We'll see how that goes. Strawberries have been pretty good for the first year. We've been getting strawberries to eat. No significant harvest, obviously, in the first year to make anything out of. Now, let's talk about a failure, a big failure. This is my peas. Okay, so I have peas on this trellis. I have peas on this trellis. And I had this whole fencing here was peas. And what I didn't do, sorry about that, what I didn't do was pay attention to what kind of peas they were, which I found out is very important. So I have microgreen pea shoots that I had a whole bunch of seeds, so I just started some of those. Thought they'd be just regular, some kind of pea you can eat. I also put in regular, like, sugar peas. However, I did not know that the pea shoot ones wouldn't really be good for eating as peas. They got beautiful purple and like pinky flowers, which was different because they usually have white flowers. This kind has white. This is still a sugar pea. I think it's probably about done giving anything. You can see here a few curling up there, but they'd still be good to pop in your mouth. So the moral of that story is, and these peas here are called Champion of England, and I still have the packet. All I would have had to do was look at the packet, but I didn't. I thought they were sugar or snap peas. They are not. They are garden peas, which they're very delicious, and they're, look, here's a basket I just picked. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, sorry, I'm very good at this. I don't know if you can tell how giant these are. That's a big pea. And they're really sweet and yummy. But I should have known what I was planting. So the moral of that story is know your peas when you're planting them, which probably is just a matter of organization. And then there's some peas on here. I think these aren't the same as the Champion of England, which I thought they were, but they're definitely different. My son-in-law, who worked in produce at my son, just told me, said these are snap peas. But I didn't pick them on time, so here's a bunch I just picked. They're still good inside the peas, but yeah. So know what peas you're planting. That would be something I've learned so far. The other thing, brassicas. Let's talk brassicas. This is a of broccoli. I just cut the head off yesterday. This was all broccolis in here. I pulled them out, cut them out, I should say. And they were okay. I had got some, a couple nice size heads, but mostly just small things. And then, of course, the worms were in them. The cabbage white butterfly larvae. And the cauliflower is pretty much a bust. I mean, there's one, but it doesn't look great. And there's one in there. They just look awful. I don't know why. Cauliflower is hard to grow, notoriously hard to grow. But what I would do differently with this planting here is I wouldn't plant them so close, and I would cover them. Look over here, see that cover? Doesn't look pretty, but it's keeping those white moths or butterflies or whatever they are off the these are purple sprouting broccoli I have in there, because if you don't keep them off, you end up with infestation of worms inevitably in brassicas. I tried this, planting this other stuff in marigold and dill, and there was all kinds of stuff mixed in here to try to deter and confuse them, but it didn't work. So that's something I learned. I would spread them out and cover them with mesh, insect mesh. So I learned a couple things. I also learned that I would not plant so much cabbage, since we don't even eat cabbage. I am going to harvest one of these and see if I can, I could saute it up and eat it myself. My family does not even like cabbage, so I don't really know what I was thinking there. I guess I just thought it would be fun to grow them. It is kind of fun. They look cool. But they definitely have the worms in them, so I'm a little scared to see what's inside that head when I go to open it up, but we'll see. Peas. There's more peas. Another thing that I've learned is to remember what peas you have and to plant them on time. I planted these way late, and peas are cool weather, and so I don't know how they'll do, but I thought I'll stick them in and see. So yeah, that's another thing I would do differently. So the peas, I'm learning a lot about peas. So far the flowers are doing really well, but I started these all from seed. There's cosmos and there's poppies. Aren't they pretty? And cosmos. Oh, and the strawberry spinach, look at that. That actually came out pretty. It tastes weird. You can eat those little things. They're a little strange tasting, but they're kind of fun to eat. Yeah, and I think the other thing I learned is I wouldn't plant things quite so close. I was really squishing things in. I think because I didn't really know how much I was going to be able to fit in here, and I ended up having plenty of space. So I would spread things out a little more next time. This is celery in here. I think celery is okay to have like that, because that way they kind of blanch themselves and they don't need a whole lot of width space to grow. They just grow up more. And that's red beets, which I didn't even know I had in there until my sister pointed it out. What else would I say is a success? It's kind of hard to say successes yet because it's kind of early days. But so far everything's looking good. We'll see as the season progresses and more critters come in, or bugs I should say. We'll see. Carrots are doing really well. Oh, another thing I would say, these are turnips here. Let's see down in there. See these turnips? Oops. So what I would do differently with turnips is not plant so many. Another thing, we eat them, but I mix them in with potatoes. We don't eat them plain. They're not the best by themselves, at least to my family. So I would plant less. I planted too many, and now I'm like, what do I do with them? Because I need to harvest them but I don't really. I'm gonna see if I can freeze them or something. So that's another learning curve. What else? Oh, I had interplanted. These are peppers and tomatoes here. Oh. And I had interplanted here. I just pulled them out. These green beans, thinking, oh, add more in. That'll give me more stuff. But I was looking at it right now, and I think that's going to be too crowded, especially as I'm learning about these plants. Peppers like space, which they probably should have a little more space than they have. I'm just learning that if you give things space, they're less prone to diseases. So that's something I'm learning. I'm hoping the green beans will be okay. I really planted them close, so we'll see. This is all green beans, really closely planted. But we'll see. It's all a learning curve this year. And oh, that's kohlrabi, which I've never even eaten, so probably I should have planted a few of those. Got my pretty snapdragons here. Aren't they gorgeous? And here's zucchini. Now I followed the directions on the packet, and they said to plant like 6 to 8 in a hill, not in a hill. So instead of doing 6 to 8, because I thought that was a lot, I did like 4 or 5, maybe, or 3. But as I'm hearing, like looking and learning more about them, I don't think they're going to be happy like that. So I don't know why the packet said that. So anyway, I have zinnias coming up here. They're coming up well so far. They're here too, which will be gorgeous. The ground cherries have the little things on them. I've been eating them. They're not ripe yet, and they're very interesting tasting, but not ripe yet. So far, oh, look at that pretty poppy. Oh, that's so pretty. That's the same kind as over there. Isn't that weird? It looks different. Very pretty. And then along that fence there, don't look at my straight rows, but there are sunflowers in the back, tall ones. Shorter variety at some places. Bachelor buttons and I think Tithonia, which is a Mexican sunflower. So far, this is the popcorn. So far, there's been a lot of successes with how things are growing. Harvesting is the proof in the pudding, I guess. So peas, I've learned a lot, and we'll see about the other stuff. So hope you enjoyed this, and hope you can learn something from my mistakes. See you next time.